Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Assalamualaikum and welcome to my channels. So for this video, I will explain about impact of COVID-19 pandemic to agribusiness marketing. It covers about demand and supply, marketing channels, supply chains, consumers' behavior, and the last one, marketing strategies. First, we go to the demand and supply topic. Under this topic, I will explain about 4 sectors, which is oil palm sector, fruit and vegetable sectors, fisheries and aquacultures, and the last one, poultries and dairy sectors. 2020 is a challenging year for most of the industry in the world due to the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic. This outbreak offered a terrible consequence on the country's economy from worldwide and demand shocks and also domestic factors in the course of the lockdowns. Malaysia's palm oil enterprise used to be also affected through the outbreak of the coronavirus. For instance, gradual demand from the palm oil's importing countries as well as home consumptions. Also, the movement control order has interrupted the regular upstream things such as fertilizing, harvesting, a series of FFB and milling. This result lack of manpower and affect the supply for oil palm. On March 24, Sabah government imposed a closures on oil palm estate and mills in 6 districts until April 14. After some of the employees have either means tremendous for COVID-19. The shutdown of the estates and mills affected about almost around 75% of Sabah's CPO manufacturing and about 100,000 workers. As we know, Sabah constitutes around 25% of Malaysia's palm oil production, and this is how the COVID-19 impact the demand and supply for the oil palm. The second sector is the fruits and vegetables. Due to the pandemic outbreak, farmers are very struggling to sell their fruits and vegetable products. The fruits and vegetable region has been hit as properly through the lockdowns and measures undertaken with the aid of the countries to combat the coronavirus with lack of advertising, consumers and falling in prices. For instance, in Australia, restrictions in the free movement are deeply compromising the availability of labor force in the fruits and vegetable sectors. Growing season is started already and around 3,000 workers are needed, but most of them are commuters and seasonal employees coming from the Eastern European countries as well as from outside the EU. Second example, the durian industry in Malaysia has been hit difficult through a drastic drop in demand and lack of manpower due to the COVID-19 outbreak. Malaysia entered a state of lockdowns with an MCO in place on March 18, which has hit the industry hard in terms of manpower as plantation workers are often unable to communicate with controls officers properly. However, when the environment get better during May to July, is expected to increase and be able to meet the demand from the China's market. And the third sector is the livestock and dairy. During Ramadan and Eid al-Fitr as a usually peak periods for Australian goods has been curtailed due to the COVID-19 restrictions in Malaysia. The goat export have been declined around 85% in the calendar from January until March. Many food service and retail amenities in Malaysia are closed due to the COVID-19. This is notably decreased demand for goods. but it has a difference for our dairy product. Demand for dairy product from Malaysia get increased during the pandemic. For example, Farm Fresh product, which is a Malaysian brand, get sales increase during pandemic compared to overseas brands like Dash Ready and also Good Day. This is because Farm Fresh are located in Malaysia, and all the dairy product from Farm Fresh is bottled and transported to retail outlets within 48 hours of milking and ready for consumptions. Others advantage that make the increase in demand for farm fresh product is their signatures. Susu Kurma that launched during Ramadan received a sky high sales as it gives additional energy during fasting. For fisheries and aquaculture sectors. In the fisheries and aquaculture sectors, there are many implications. The reduced demand in eating places and hotels, coupled with many market closed, have added to a limit of wholesale fresh fish prices, while there is restricted gate admissions to storage and choice advertising facilities. Second topic, we go to the marketing channels. Local farm product that might normally be sold through a distributions, broker, wholesaler, cooperative or other marketing channels may not reach consumers who are following social distancing practices and avoiding grocery store. They have to change to modern marketing channels. One of them is e-commerce, or we call as a e-business. The term of e-commerce is the buying and selling of goods over an electronic network. Online promotional is proved to be convenient and effective. For example, Farm Fresh company choose to get a benefit from it. Farm Fresh join the trend by advertising their product on social media platforms such as Facebook and Instagram. Due to quarantine, Farm Fresh also provide the delivery service to their official website. Other than their own website, Farm Fresh also work with online groceries shop named as a Happy Fresh, as it will attract more customers. And the third one is a supply chain. A supply chain is an entire system of producing and delivering a product or service to end users. As we know, disruptions are minimal as food provide has been adequate and market have been secure so far. Although much less food productions of high value commodities which fruits and vegetables is already likely. They are now not as substantive because of the lockdowns and disruptions in the coast chain. I take an example. For wild capture fisheries, the incapacity of fishing vessels to operate due to the continue of crumples of market generate a domino effect during the price change in prices of grades of products. In addition, problem in logistics associated with a restrict in transportations, border closures and decreased demand in restaurants and hotels can generate the substantial market change. The pandemic is impacting on livestock sectors due to the logistical constraints and labor shortage. As of May, we can see the disruptions in the food supply chains. Blockage to transport routes are particularly obstructive for clean food grain change and may also result in improved levels of meals loss and waste. Agriculture's products, which are highly perishable or stored in a rather limited time, are at a perilous dangers. Transport restrictions and quarantine measures are likely to impede the farmers' access to market, curbing their productive capabilities and hindering them from selling their product. Number 4 is a consumer behavior. In the beginning of COVID-19 pandemic, around month of March, consumer bought a daily essentials such as raw ingredients in a big amounts to store at home. This happened because of a rumor about Malaysia will be in a lockdown state. It was shown in the social media and news that supermarket and store were running out of stock during this pandemic. For example, a bread producer, which is Gardenia, has revealed that it is already churning out the bread at its maximum capacity. Malaysians had previously been seen like a panic buying amid the speculation of a lockdowns. But the government's MCO is not a lockdowns, and Malaysians are allowed to go out to buy their daily necessities. However, this problem is going to back to normal as MCO loosens and many sectors can start their operations. Consumers are dramatically decreasing most discretionary spending, which has grave penalties for some industries such as footwear, accessories, journey and leisure out of home. They are probable to proceed reduced spending pattern in these and other product categories. During the pandemic MCO, consumers tend to shop through the online platform, and this lead to the parcels overload at the courier center. Many of the consumers, especially in the town area, were ordering the food service instead of buying the groceries. This is because mostly agriculture's products are raw materials, and the consumers are requiring to check the physical of the product by using their sense like touch, see and smell, which is helping to pick the freshness and the good quality of agricultural product. And the last one is a marketing strategies. During COVID-19 pandemic, farmers market their crop yields to near the local market. This is one of their way to make sure the product is still in demand during the movement control order, and also to provide delivery service. For an example, 99 Speedmart tagline is near and cheap. This is how the Speedmart thriving in every state in Malaysia. It is because most of the Speedmart store is placed near the residency. This is how the farmers follow one of the strategies of the Speedmart. The way farmers market their product make people easily to obtain during the MCO within reach rather than sell it at one place such as a morning market. There is also a farmers who market their product to the farmer, which implements the direct purchase from farm. This help the seller to arrange their sales between farmers and seller, which also reinforce to the online activity. Other than that, farmers also market their crop yield through the online platform such as the website and the Agribusiness online applications. So the user can visit the website or download the application Agribusiness online. For end this video, the pain of this pandemic is serious, but this too shall pass eventually, and we will wake up to a new dawn. As we wait with resilience and optimism, let us ponder a word from our Prime Minister: after the rains come the sun. A new tomorrow is for his first. Stay safe everyone. Goodbye.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.